Hi everybody, Hania here with the board summary for January 21st, which was a Tuesday. We did not meet on Monday the 20th because it was Martin Luther King when we did have a great parade. I hope you guys were able to either participate or watch it on TV. Then I want to thank the JROTC from Booker T. Washington High School under the leadership of Master Sergeant Kyle Gordonier. They were there not just for our board meeting, but they came earlier than that and participated during our winter graduation. They did the posting of the colors during that time also. So it was a very long evening for them, but they did a fantastic job. They looked extremely sharp. They had their gloves on. And they had, I don't know what they call them, but I think it's like a big handkerchief. A bandana looking. It's huge and it's beautiful. I mean, they just looked sharp. So thank you so much for coming. We did have a full house that was able to see you guys in action, so I hope it was worth your time and your effort. Then moving on to our agendas, remember that we have 3 agendas: the consent agenda, action agenda, and information agenda. And the board members vote on agenda items in the consent and in the action agendas. The information agenda items are ones that we discussed and just talk about and get more information about, but we do not vote on those until they are brought back to the board as a consent or action item. So the consent agenda was approved as it was listed. Now, not everything that I provide to you before as an information agenda item is going to come to the board on a consent or action item the following board meeting. So always keep that in mind, that when I say the agenda was approved as listed, it is because not everything that I've discussed before is listed in the agenda, or the wording has changed too. So some of the agenda items in the consent agenda that were approved included approving the training and certification of employees for the MAND, M-A-N-D-T system, submitting an application for a 3-year waiver to the Office of Standard 7 to allow the district to create an intern library media specialist program that would allow the district to really grow their own librarians, since we have, as a state, we not just have a shortage of teachers, we also have a shortage of librarians. We also approved several booster and PTAs and several contracts for the interior renovations at Edison Preparatory High School and for the sanitary sewer for the new stadium that will be at Rogers College Junior and High School. We also approved next year's calendar, which stated that it would put the first day of school as August 19th, 2020. So if you are planning on going on any trips or vacations this summer, make sure that your child is back and ready and rested for an August 19th start date. Then moving on to the action agenda, there are a lot of items listed, and they were approved as listed. That does not mean that they were all unanimous votes, but they were approved. And these included approving the early retirement incentive for employees that state early that they will be planning on retiring at the end of this year. Then rejecting Harlow Creek Elementary Charter School application. We did have a pretty good discussion, I feel, and had information from both Harlow Creek. We were able to read the Harlow Creek application and also the points as to why the district did not think that it was good to move forward with. We also approved changing the grade configurations from pre-K, from a pre-K to 6 model to moving it to a pre-K through 5th grade model. And this will take effect in August at the following elementary schools: Burroughs, Emerson, Academy Central, Wayman Teasdale, Sequoia, Key, Marshall, and Sauk. We also approved changing the grade configurations at Central Junior, Rogers Junior, and Memorial Junior Highs to include 6th grade in their buildings, and so they would not be junior highs next year, they would be middle schools next year. We also approved to allow for Greenwood Leadership Academy, also known as GLA, to expand to the remainder of Academy Central for next year. And we also approved, even though it was very difficult decisions that we each had to make, to close Wright, Jones, and Grimes for next year. So they would finish the year, and we would close those buildings in August, and then consolidate Mark Twain and Wayman Teasdale at Wayman Teasdale. Plus, we approved a staffing plan for next year, which includes allowing school teams to determine how to best use their allocations to better serve their students. So what was explained is that it's not just based on a grade from an allocation per grade, but an allocation numbers for the whole school based on full enrollment instead of grade level enrollment. Information agenda. The following are some of the recommendations that were up for discussion. I believe I am going to read all of them, but just a reminder, if you have any questions or any comments about them or about any of the other agendas that I just discussed, please let me know. You can send me a Facebook message or email me if you want to at board2@tulsaschools.org. So these are the recommendations. Enter into a contract with TU's Allen Chapman Activity Center to host Rogers JROTC's Military Ball, which is scheduled for April 25th. Enter into an agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife Conservation and the Oklahoma Aquatic Education Fishing in Schools program to teach students not just about the sport of fishing, but also identifying fish, safety management, and outdoor ethics. Replace and standardize the wireless microphone system in our entire district to comply with the new Federal Communications Commission guidelines. Also, a recommendation to renew contracts with Cox for Ethernet services and internet services. What it was explained to us is that they would all be, we would receive a 95% discount rate, and then we would use the OK Universal Fund to pay for the remaining cost after the discount. So it would not be at any cost to the district. The next recommendation is to enter into a contract with Municipal Finance Services Incorporated to ensure that TPS meets their obligation for transparency in the municipal bond market. Also, contracts for the interior renovations at Rogers High School Annex was another agenda item that we had in the information agenda. The next board meeting will be February 3rd at 6:30. If you have questions about these, please let me know. If you have any comments about anything, just let me know. I know that I love when people come and speak to the board. Unfortunately, when you speak to the board in a board meeting, our policy states that we are not to engage in communication with you. However, we are able to talk amongst ourselves about any questions or concerns that the constituents have brought up to us beforehand. So I encourage you to go ahead and reach out to board members individually. We appreciate you guys getting involved and reaching out to us. So please do so. Again, February 3rd at 6:30. That is Monday, a week from Monday at the Education Service Center. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. The temperatures are getting a little better this weekend, and I hope that your kids have a fantastic week at their schools this coming week. Have a great one. Thank you, everybody.